to incorporate in their submissions. So I think we just have to look at it.
Thank you. Noted. And Honorable Moses?
Let me speak as a lay person. The arguments we've been having all through, when we invite, if we make a decision to invite, it will be this committee inviting, not for any of the two. So I would propose they close. Then us can make a decision as persons of interest to our committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other input? Honorable.
I think I fully associate with the Honorable Malulu Ijende. We agreed that we will be inviting these two witnesses, if we agree, to be our own witnesses to come and clarify on our matters, which means possibly they will not be subject to cross-examination by the rest of the parties. They are purely our witnesses to come and clarify on certain matters. Therefore, I agree that we can finish with them on their closing statements, and then after that we caucus to see whether we require the clarifications or not.
Yes, Honorable Manyo.
Yeah, the rain falls on both the just and the unjust, meaning God is fair. So if one of either side had mentioned earlier, which the sponsor did, that it's crucial that the two are invited for the sake of this, and because our work is to investigate and get the full picture, I think it is good that we fairly also consider that.
Honorable Vice Chair.
Yeah, Chair, it's important that we go in record that this is one of those issues that we've been grappling with as a committee. And we even sought our council to advise us. And the council advised that we can invite those witnesses. I submit that we invite those witnesses, they come give whatever evidence they have, then after that we close this business and make a decision. It would be improper to make a decision without hearing everyone who has been adversely and seriously mentioned in these proceedings.
Honorable Tandasa.
Thank you, Chair. I think the best position was when we are yet to agree whether to call them or not. So I'm not going to say whether they should be in this discussion. But again, the most important thing I think in our discussion was that if we are to call them, they'll be our witnesses. Because as we said last time, and I don't want to open any debate, whoever asked for that assistance, we discussed and agreed had not advanced any serious reason to see that they have refused to come as his witnesses. Because here the fundamental issues are they coming as his witnesses, and if it is as his witnesses, then he should call them. Where he can't get them, that's where the committee comes in. That was not done. So the decision whether to call or not to call will be ours, and they'll be our witnesses. In which case, as Honorable Murugara said, since if they are our witnesses, then they are not subject to cross-examination, then I don't think it stops us from concluding and then making that decision. If we are to call them, we'll put it in our report. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, you know, I do not mind. Actually, I agree with the submissions of my learned friend, or my colleague, that these witnesses, if we were to call them, we would call them as committee witness. I have no problem with it. I'm just worried about the procedure, the point at which we call these people. That is, if we have to call them at all. I'm sure George, my member for Tharaka, would tell you that this is the first time, the very first time, in any proceedings such as this, whether in a tribunal or rent restriction tribunal, where you receive evidence after closure of submissions of a party. I think, Chair, perhaps with a lot of respect, you may not appreciate that procedure, but I think George and I, and member for Anapkoi, clearly knows that you finish with evidence, questions of evidence, then you allow parties to make submissions whichever way. So this will be the first procedure that I have seen, and it will be clearly clear to me. I would really wish that we caucus on this, even if we retreat, and I'm prepared even to be on that side of the people who say that we should not consider the evidence. But this is, in my view, the procedure where it should fall.
Honorable George.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairperson. Honorable TJ may be right that this is not procedural, especially in a court matter where there is a adversarial system of dispute resolution. Unfortunately, here we are investigating. And if you look at the rules, the committee has the power to summon any witness to come and make any clarifications to the committee, which means it is the committee calling the witnesses to come and get whatever issues it feels are not clear to be clarified. Those are not they're not witnesses for the adversaries. That is why even if they close their cases now, there may be little input for them in respect of what we are going to be told and which questions we are going to be asking. We can retreat now to make the decision, and then we continue, but it's clear that these are supposed to be our witnesses.
Honorable Yusuf.
Chair, I agree with the learned counsel, but you know, what we need to do is to make a decision whether to call or not to call, and that is for this committee, and we must do now before we proceed to call the mover or the motion to do his submission. So my advice or opinion is, let's make the decision, and we have no problem, even me, I believe this witness should be for the committee, not for the mover of the motion. That is right. But we must make a decision whether to call or not to call. That is for this committee. Let's retreat, do the decision, come back, and then proceed with these proceedings.
Chair. Honorable Vice Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. You know, I want to respectfully disagree with the Honorable Yusuf. Our own rules, Part 5, evidence to be submitted to the committee. Rule 5, Part 3, says the committee may, at the request of the sponsor of the special motion or the cabinet secretary, invite or summon any person to appear and give evidence before the committee. So it is, we can actually invite at the request of the sponsor of the motion or even at the request of the CS. That is what our rules say. And that is what I'm saying. We need to make a decision, and I want to propose that we invite them and we finish this business.
Thank you, Honorable Chepkonga.
I'm seconding the proposal by Honorable Farah that we retreat to canvass this matter and make a decision and come back.
Honorable Dr. Nyamai.
Well, Chair, first of all, I agree with the opinion of the Honorable Farah that it is important that we make a decision. And the fact is that we can invite these witnesses on our own motion. 2, yesterday, we had given an opportunity to the mover, to the sponsor of this motion, to finalize, to give us especially from page 262 to 265. And Chair, it's on record that the Honorable Wamboka had said that that's a matter that he can deal with within the shortest time possible. So I do not know whether he was able to deal with this. So that's a matter that we need to look at. And Chair, also, as we retreat, we'll consider other details that are within this document that will inform us. Chair, I'll just say that matters that could be ongoing in other independent bodies. So I thought that we need to, for sure, retreat. But I would like to agree with the Honorable Farah and the Honorable Chepkonga.
Chair. Honorable Jen.
Chair, if I may, I believe as a matter of procedure, it would be quite interesting if we proceed to hear the closing arguments and whether this committee, because it has the discretion to concede or to allow the request of the mover of this motion, or even the CS, to call any witnesses. But our rules are very clear that such a witness would be called as a witness to the committee, not as a witness of the mover of the motion. Because, Chair, that is why we must decide. And it is important, like Honorable Nyamai has said, we retreat, make a decision on that. I remember there were some documents that were supposed to be provided by the mover of the motion. I don't know whether they're now on record and available. Then we can have a way forward on how to handle the same.
Members, I direct that, okay.
Honorable Chair, if I may, on the issue of the documentation that was to be tendered before the committee, I wish to inform the committee, the Honorable Chair and the members that we did so this morning, and that those documents are in the custody of the Secretariat. I think there's a Mr. Robert, if I'm not wrong, who we gave those documents to, so they should be available to the committee when required.
Thank you. They have confirmed that they are in receipt of the documents, and I direct that we retreat for 20 minutes and then we come back.
Najua unaingia hivi, nikiingia hivi nitaisha hivi. Just go around. For when? Kuna kebo imeanguka. Ni PS mwana nini? Nani amepropose hiyo? PS letter. Yaani umekotini vinileta kitu kubadilisha hapo katikati na kwa gari noma. So before file kitu kodini uko umeweka documents zote.
So kuja nayo. Hii tu.